Hi, my name is Veron and I serve the Methodist Church in the Caribbean and the Americas. I'm assigned to Guyana. In terms of my life before I knew Jesus, I rather like that question because there's really a distinction in knowing Jesus and knowing Jesus. And so I grew up in the Methodist Church as a child. I've been there. That was mandatory. I could not bargain with my grandmother about going to church. You know, it's like children do what I say. I grew up in that kind of a household. But even though it was something that we were mandated to do, my siblings and I, it was still very fulfilling because the church was integrally involved in the community and it assisted, to shape our development in terms of formation. However, I believe that there was a time that I was just going through the motion, So although I was serving in the church, having a relationship with God, but there still was a void, not a deep sense of commitment. I was confirmed for a number of years, and I had particular responsibilities in the church, but I think I was just filling them because it was a requirement. I still, I had my secular employment, and it was one particular Sunday. In our context, we have what you call a local preacher's Lord's Day. And there was a local preacher who came and she preached from Revelations 3 and verse 16, giving the charge that we should either be hot or cold, but being lukewarm was really a no-no. And it really tugged on my heart. At that time, it was really a place of deep reflection because I was like at a crossroads in my life. And I remembered in that moment, I believe I had the encounter that was similar to John Wesley, where I really did indeed feel my heart strangely warmed. And I spoke to my then superintendent minister at the time about what I was feeling. And I began to offer myself in a different way to the life and ministry of the church. I saw it as something that I felt that God wanted me to do. That was when I began to have an understanding of what it meant to have a sense of call, because before then I did not know that. And out of that experience, I would have been given a note to preach, but I must say that when my pastor at the time gave the note for me to preach and I was placed on the preaching plan, I did not believe that I was fully ready for that. And so there were times when I was planned for church to preach and I did not go because I believed that we should have had some discussion. But therein I was struggling again. But the more I yielded myself, the greater the sense of conviction that this is what God wanted me to do. And out of that experience, which was one that was evolving, I eventually submitted myself to the call of God and answered the call to full-time ministry. Oh, wow. Sometimes I wonder how God really deals with me because I can be a very stubborn child or a woman of God. And many days I say, God, why do you even bother with Veron? Because I move between, this strong sense of conviction and confidence. And then there another time when I'm overwhelmed by this sense of doubt, especially because of the uncertainties. But what I see happening on a daily basis is just the gentle reminders that I am with you, you're my child. So it might just even be getting up in the mornings and hearing the birds. It might just come through going to the hospital and looking at a member who is really, in a very difficult position, but then they're lifting up, the name of God. And then there are my quiet moments where I have those personal reflections, with my own devotional time. But a lot of it too still comes through from having interactions with other people in community. So that is how my call is further affirmed and strengthened.